Hello there and welcome to my boat shed. My name is Panu and I am building this 15 meter or 50 foot liveaboard cruising sailboat here in Finland. In the previous video we got that front locker painted and we put another layer of stuff on the keel timber, this thin stuff. And since that I already sanded all that. It was really a 15-minute job, it wasn't a big deal. Now it's all ready to go to accept the next layers. And also those next layers have been already done. All the scarf joints are in and they are lifted up there to be glued in. Unfortunately though, I just haven't had time to do that actual glue up. It is several hours of gluing and I just haven't had that time to do yet. But I hope in a few days I can go and put another layer in. I think there's gonna be at least 3 different sessions because I still want to put another layer of these in between there somewhere. But that's gonna be in the next video because in this video we're gonna focus on something else and that is these things. So you probably don't know what these are if you haven't been following this, but these are the cleat mount things that I've been talking about for I don't know how many months. They finally arrived. Now they are here, they are ready. They look good or pretty rough actually, but that's on purpose. But the thing with these is that these holes in there are threaded holes for mounting the cleats on top of this bulwark. And what we need these for is that this bulwark is just made from plywood mostly, and it is not strong enough to hold the forces needed for attaching this boat to dock when there's a lot of wind out there. So that's why there's these things. The cleats will screw into these and these will be attached permanently into the boat structures and spread the load in a larger area. And that's the idea with these. And let's take a look where these actually go. So here's the placement for the cleat. As you may remember, these areas have been already fiberglassed, but there is a few places where the fiberglass is still missing, and that is because we have been waiting for these, of course. So this is one of the spots where the cleat will be mounted, and this will come right about here. And now what we need to do is to actually install these here and laminate these in, cover this with wood, and kind of make a structural area or filling this area so that the load that comes from here will spread across this structure into these frames, maybe to that beam and all around. So that's the idea. You're never going to see these again when these are in, and that's why these are pretty rough, and that is for purpose because I want to have a very good bond with the epoxy for this. These are stainless steel, they are welded together, and yeah, now we need to make a hole in here to put this right against the top surface of the bulwark, and when the boat is turned right side up, we will finish the surface from the top. So that's the plan. So yeah, let's start with making a hole in there and then figuring out what kind of timber we need to cover this up so that it stays in there. So now I have prepped some wood around this thing. There is a few layers of this just scrap pieces I collected all over here, but you can see that it's now filled with wood, and there's a layer behind there as well. There is one sort of unexpected issue, is that now when I measure that the bolt holes are in the center of the bulwark, this actually comes just tiny bit over this edge of this frame. So if I'm trimming this with the planer, I'm gonna hit this metal part. So now I'm actually thinking that maybe I should put it a little bit that way. Then the bolts are not centered, but I don't know, it's probably not a big issue. If I put, for example, a couple of these thinner layers in there. No, that's a little bit too much still. Maybe one layer of this thin wood. It goes a little bit deeper. And then this edge is below this surface. So now when I plane this final shape with the planer, it should not hit any of these. So maybe that is actually the way to go. Like so. But the rest of the layers, I think they work just fine. Yeah, I need to put a little bit more layers on this side in this case, but I have this thin stock quite a lot here, so I can use that for kind of making some thickness in here. And then there's some more layers in either direction, which should be good as well. And also, I think this is probably enough. I'm thinking that maybe I should put a fiberglass layer, kind of a thicker, maybe 450 gram fiberglass layer from here across this beam. So it kind of ties this thing into this beam as well. I'm not sure if that's really necessary. This is pretty strong position. There is this frame just here, and when I fill this up, there's this plywood on the other side, and then this side will have the actual hull, the strip planking, and the veneers and stuff. So yeah, I think it's good. I don't need to mess with the fiberglass. So this is gonna be kind of solid wooden block with this one inside there, and it should be good. And as for this other side, now I actually didn't put, but I'm gonna put some spacers underneath there. Something like that, so that it is not touching the foundation layer, but there's a little bit of a gap there. And when we turn the boat right side up, I can then remove those and put a solid fiberglass layer on top of this, so that only the holes are really visible from the outside there. And then there shouldn't be any issues with the water ingress in there. Idea, of course, is that no water should ever go in here. But that's a problem for another day when we have the boat right side up. Unfortunately though, it's getting quite late tonight. It's already 9:30 in the evening, and tomorrow I'm going early to the wooden mill, and we're gonna mill tomorrow the strip planking. But that is gonna be in the next video, not in this one, because my schedule should say that tomorrow this video should be done, but obviously it's not just yet. But I will continue on Saturday to glue this in. Maybe we can put one layer of keel timber on top there as well. So yeah, a little bit of a bummer. Sorry about the delay, but I'll do my best. All right, it's Saturday afternoon. Yesterday I was supposed to go to playing the planking for the boat, but unfortunately the guy got sick, so we postponed it to next week. But that should be all right, because I'm not gonna need the planking just yet. There's at least a couple of weeks to work here before we can start figuring out the planking in. Anyway, now I'm gonna continue with this, and I think tonight I'm gonna try to glue this first one in and see how that goes. And if everything goes well, I'm gonna do the rest of the stuff during next week or two. So yeah, as you saw, everything should be kind of ready. I still need to figure out a little bit of the wood I need here and how to mount them. Probably mark some places for the screws so I can screw things in. I don't need any, well, there is no really able to use any clamps in here because there is, yeah, you know, so placement for those screws, that's why there is these holes. And these holes are actually also for the epoxy to really stick into and kind of grab and hold there. Maybe I could even put doubles here, but yeah, I don't know if that's really necessary. I think it's gonna be plenty strong with just that. Then I of course need to tape this bottom section and put the spacers underneath there before I put the glue in. But yeah, I'm now gonna continue with the figuring out the wood, and then I'm gonna start gluing this in. And what else? Yeah, one thing, I need to wipe this thing with acetone, so get rid of all the remains of any grease or other contaminants that could prevent it from attaching to the epoxy. Yeah. And just like that, it is done. There is now plenty of glue. As you can see, there's a lot of squeeze out. That's very good because now there shouldn't be any major gaps in there. And yeah, you can't really see the steel part there anymore. That's obviously the idea and the goal here. Now I let it cure, and next week or two I try to do the rest of the stuff. I think this worked pretty well. These pieces are in there. There's one layer of the thin stuff behind and a couple of layers of thin stuff here in the front to kind of fill up the area so that when we shape the hull side here, most of that should come off really. But yeah, that's good. That's good. And I'm actually quite pleased how it turned out. And with that successful mission, I think I'll end this video right here. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, of course, to the channel, give me a like and put a comment down below to help me grow this channel. It has been a little bit lacking of new subscribers and the views, and I really would hope to get this thing going forward again. And very special thank you to my patrons. You are really the reason I can put time and make these videos. So thank you so much. As for the next video, I already mentioned before that we're gonna do the planking stock for the boat. Stay tuned for that. That's gonna be super exciting and I cannot wait to start the planking of this boat. I've been waiting that for a year and a half. So please stay with me. And now, thank you and bye-bye.